Okay, we'll start with the prayer first. Cross your legs, palms together, close your eyes. Seek the blessing from the God, Goddess, and all your gurus. As you feel you are done, slowly open your eyes. Okay, now we are going to start with the, we are continuing with the Saturn. Okay, let's take as a revision. Save the screen for at least 30 seconds. You can read out loud also or in your mind also. But stay at the screen at least for 30 seconds as a revision. Okay, now I guess the steering is finished. Before we are entering into the class, we are going to know about the few things about the Saturn. What is that few things? Give me a second. Today we are going to learn about the Sadesati, or in other words, they are called it as the 7.5 years of the Saturn journey in our life. As we know already, this one zodiac sign, I guess everyone can see the cursor also, right?
Yes.
Okay. One zodiac sign, Saturn will take 2.5 years. So 12 zodiac signs, Saturn take 30 years to finish completely. So that means the 7.5 years will come once in 30 years for you. How it will come? Why this 7.5 years? We will learn that now. Okay, in your chart, we have to calculate this from the moon position. Okay, not from the lagna, it is from your moon position. Okay. Imagine the moon in this particular Jataka, the moon was in the Kadaka Rasi, that is Karka Rasi. So for this person, the Sadesati will starts when the Saturn in the Kochara, not on your Janma chart, in the Kocharam, the Saturn travels. It will travels every minute, every time, right? Consider the Saturn travels in the Kocharam. It comes to Mithuna Rasi. So that means for this Kadaka Rasi person, Kadaka Rasi Jatakam, Sadesati begins. First phase of the Sadesati begins when the Saturn comes in the 12th position from the moon. Okay, now you understand this point, right? You have to calculate the position from the moon in your Janma Jatakam. Okay, open your Jatakam, then find the moon position, then from that find the 12th position. Okay, this is the first step. So once you finish that, then check the Kochara chart. Kochara means today what is the position of the Saturn. Okay, imagine now the Saturn was traveled to the Mithuna Rasi. Okay, for this person, the Sadesati begins. What is that? Anybody saying something?
I think we can continue.
Okay. So when the Saturn comes into the 12th position from the moon, the Sadesati begins. So what are the two steps involved? I have to see the moon from your Janma Jatakam, then the Saturn position in the Gocharam, combined together, find the Sadesati. Okay. So if in the Gocharam, the Saturn comes into the Mithuna Rasi, for this Kadaka Rasi person, first phase of the Sadesati begins. That is the Viraya Sani. That means why the 12th house becomes the Viraya Sani? Already we know the 12th house is for the expenditure. All kind of your losses, donations, everything will comes in the 12th house. So the Viraya Sani, that is your first phase will start. That means 2.5 years, the Saturn going to give you all kind of expenses in your life. It can.
Arhan?
What is that? You didn't hear me?
Vanita, please
Somebody
mute
is
everyone.
calling.
One person at a time. What is that?
Please mute everyone.
Oh, mute everyone. Oh, okay. We can. I thought I left not here. We don't know.
Vanita, I'm sorry.
Okay. Oh, somebody was. Neelam, I couldn't able to unmute you. I already asked to unmute you. Maybe you have the pop-up will come.
Yeah, can you hear me now, Vanita?
Yes, I can.
I have just joined. Can you just repeat what all you have covered till now?
No, this is the beginning. I'm not
Okay,
at,
okay.
this is the
Okay.
beginning. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
So first thing, when we are in the first phase of the Sade Sati, so that means the 7.5 years of the Sani, we divided into 2.5 years, 2.5 years, 2.5 years. We are seeing the first phase of the 2.5 years. So when the from the moon position, 12th. In your Janma Jatakam, find the moon position, Gocharam, find the 12th, find the position of the Saturn. If the Saturn is the 12th position from your moon in your Janma Jatakam, then your Sade Sati begins. That's your first phase. Okay, in this 2.5 years, what are the things you will come across? What are the unexpected expenditures will come in your life, or expected expenditures will come in your life? If you have any kind of an ancestral property process is going on, definitely that is going to be delay, and it won't be a smooth process when it has comes to you. Okay, it will take too much of delay in the process, or you will come across n number of the expenditure regarding to that. That all kind of the problems will come, and you may have the eye related issues or money related issues will come for sure. Okay. Then we'll move on into the second phase of the 2.5 years. That is the Sade Sati second phase. What is that? In your Janma Jatakam, wherever the moon is, for this example, we take the moon is in the Kadakaras. So that means you are in the Jataka belongs to the Kadakaras. So when the Saturn in the Gocharam travels to the Kadaka Rasi, so that means your second phase of the Sade Sati begins. That is your Janma Sani. So this is also finished 2.5 years. So it starts and ends with 2.5 years. What is this period will come? This is the more crucial part because this the middle part of the Sade Sati, exactly Sani was sitting in your Rasi itself. It may give you the n number of disturbance at your mind level because it was sitting next to the moon. And also heavy debt. You may not planned, but you ended up with a heavy debt. Definitely there will be the n number of misunderstanding with the peoples around you, particularly with the relationship. There is a high chances of the breakup will come, and also having an impact on your health also. This all the I'm not saying this is going to happen for sure. These are all the important things. It may occur, this kind of the obstacles, it will come when that part of the when that point of the 2.5 years. Then you may ask questions. And how come consider the situation for the 7 years old, the second phase of the Sade Sati was going. Okay. That time you don't need to take into the account of the breakup thing was misunderstanding thing. Okay. So whenever you are concluding the reasons, you have to consider the gender, age, then when the duration was happening. Is the person was studying? Is the person was in his early childhood, beginning to the education, or in the middle of higher education, or he or she is going to work, or after he retired from the work. You have to consider everything and coming before deriving the answer or the conclusion. Okay. Now moving into the third phase of the Sade Sati. That is the final phase of the 7.5 years of the Sani journey in our life. So this is the second house from the moon's position. What you have to do from your Jatakam, the same procedure, 2-step. In your Janma Jatakam, find the moon position. From the moon position, find the second position. Then take the Gocharam. In the Gocharam, if the Saturn travels to the second position in your Janma Jatakam, then that becomes the last phase. That is a third phase. third phase was started. So that is the Padasani. This is little bit less harmful than the previous two phases also. Little bit less harmful. What are the things will come here? Main issues will be minor financial issues will come, health related issues may come, but gradually it will go down and coming into the naturally healthy person gradually. But this phase you can manage. But if you finish and finished with about two phases, then definitely this phase is the cakewalk for you. Why? Because if you have an ability and mental stability to find living with that kind of the situation, the third phase is doesn't matter for you. It will go just like that. Again, it is a 2.5 years only. So together, 2.5 years, this 2.5 years, this 2.5 years, this 2.5 years, all together totally 7.5 years. That is why the studies are 7.5 years. Okay. So that is about the 7.5 years journey of Sunny in our life. So how often it will come in your life? Once in 30 years. Okay. Let's move on to the second one. Then you heard about the Ashtamasani. Okay, this is the most popular one, Ashtamasani. What is the meaning of the Ashtamasani? Again, you have to find the moon position in your Jatakam. Then second step, you have to compare it in the Gocharam, find the Saturn position. Okay, imagine you are a Kadaka Rasi person. Then in the Gocharam, the Saturn is in the Kumbha Rasi. I believe now also Saturn is in the Kumbha Rasi. If that was the case, then this person is in the phase of the Ashtamasani. That is again the duration is the 2.5 years. What is the, how you can consider Ashtamasani? From the moon, 8th position. Ashtama, 8. So from the moon, 8th position, if the Saturn in the Kosharam comes 8th position of your Janma Jadakam, then it becomes your Ashtama Shani for you. So then that is also 2.5 years. Now what are the problem will come here? In marriage related issues, it may get delayed, or there will be some kind of issues in your marriage will come. If you are already in a marriage, you may get number of misunderstanding with your spouse, or you may lose your job at this point in time. Health related problems will come. Okay. Then let's move into the next one. This is the Ardha Ashtama Sani. Okay, everybody was silent. I have to ask the questions. Till now we have no problem, right?
I have a question.
Yeah.
So most of these effects seem to be negative.
Positive will be there. Or...
How about if the lagna is Tula or Vrishabha, where Shani is good in those cases?
The exalted are in the own houses, how it will be, right?
No. If the Janma Lagna, not the Chandra Lagna, but it is the Janma Lagna, if it is Vrishabha or Tula.
Okay, Rishabha or Tula. Okay.
So it will be a lot of both now,
Let's go one by one. Let's see the Tula Lagna. Okay, imagine, okay, then whenever we're finding anything related with the Sani and combining with the Kocharam, we are thinking about from the perspective of the moon, not from the Lagna.
Yeah, but Shani seems to be good for those Lagnas, Vrishabha Lagna. It is a Yoga Karka. So will that bad effect still be valid for the...
No, the bad effect will be lessened. For example, if for the peoples who are in the Mesha Rasi, okay, already the Saturn was depleted in it, correct? So for them, it was in the Sunny will give you it's a full-fledged all kind of the energy in such a way. The person already the person was in such a state he can. For them, the 7.5 years it doesn't matter for them. Why? Because they are already going ups and downs. They know how to deal the life. But for the person who are in good for the Sunny, it won't give you that much of an effect. The effect will be less, but for them, Okay, it was like this. When you're going into the number of the difficulties in your life, even though if 7.5 years of the sunny journey comes into your life, it doesn't matter for you. For the Tula or Rishabha Lagna people, the effect will be less. It also depends upon the where the moon was placed and how the good planets, auspicious planets was aspecting the moon. It's also taken into account. And the Bhatakasthana and Maranakaraka will also take into account. But
Okay.
when it comes into the Kochara, Dasha Buddhi, everything comes when you layered accordingly, the Dasha and the Buddhi comes into the priya, and the Kochara will comes in next to each other. The other things all in the under layer only. So you have to arrange accordingly, then find an answer.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
So let's coming in back to the lesson. Till now there was no problem, right? It won't be an biggest thing. Okay, I guess everybody knows about this already. Okay, let's know about the Ardha Ashtamasani. Ardha Ashtamasani means from the moon position, the same procedure. In your Janma Jatakam, find the moon position. In the Kocharam, find the Saturn position. Okay. Now we have to imagine for our understanding, the sake of the understanding, we have to imagine the Saturn because we are considering as an example of the Kadaka Rasi. So we are imagining in the Kocharam, the Saturn was in the Tula Rasi. So from the moon, find the fourth position. Okay, for this person, Kadaka Rasi, fourth position will be the Tula Rasi. Imagine in the Kocharam also Saturn was in the Tula Rasi. So for them, it is the Ardha Ashtama Sani. Okay, so this is from the fourth position from the moon. Okay, the duration is also same 2.5 years. Okay, what are the things will come? Your mother health may get affected. Your immediate family members' health can be affected. The money which comes from outside for you, it may get delayed. It won't be come to you on time, or you may lose the money outside. Or possibly your expenditure will be increased in no time. Okay, then you may ask the question, okay, what is the difference between the Ardha Ashtamasani and Ashtamasani? Okay, Ardha Ashtamasani, it gives you the problem around you, surrounding you, but Ashtamasani, it exactly impact on the Jataka. Okay, then we'll move on into the final one. It is the Gandasani. What is the meaning of the Gandasani? When the same procedure, find the moon position in your Janma Jatakam. Now for sake of understanding, we imagining the Saturn is in the Makara Rasi. Okay. So what does that mean? When the moon was in the Kadaka Rasi, count the seventh position. Exactly seventh position. That becomes the Makara Rasi. So our example assumption, Saturn was in the Makara Rasi. So for this Jataka, it becomes the Gandasani for them. What does it mean? The Saturn was exactly seen. It was direct vision. We already saw that when the Saturn was sitting in the same position, gives you the gold. When the Saturn was aspecting anything, it will gives you more trouble in your life. When it comes into the seventh house from the moon, this it will give lots of troubles as usual. 2.5 years only. The same thing, 2.5 years. Okay, what are the things will come? The studies, you will be very good in the studies, but in that point in time of the 2.5 years, your attention may get distracted, your memory becomes vanished, you may not get interested in the studies, you may have one or the other way in the problem in your studies. This for the students. When it comes at the work, you may have the n number of the problems. You are the very good in work, but that moment you don't want to work. You feel like I don't want to work. I'm doing the repetitive work. Sometimes you feel like why I'm going to work. In your immediate family or the in around in your friends in the family circles, you may lose your respect. One or the other way, it won't be the happening on every day in your life, but one or the other way, you may lose your importance. And there is a possibility if the Gandasani was happening and you are planning for your marriage life, there is a possibility of delay in the marriage. Okay, something about the Sunny. Okay, now let's getting into our exact class. Okay, Now see in this, okay, before that, till now there was any questions? It's easy, right?
So
If
there
you-
are 6 types of Shani, and they all total up to 15 years.
Oh. Don't count it as that much. That much
Okay.
it will give you the heart attack to you. Okay.
Exactly, that's what it is giving me.
The 7.5 years is the biggest one. But this one, the Ashtamasani, will, when the Saturn was once in a 30 years, definitely it will come. Okay. But give more importance to this 7.5 years one. This Ashtamashani, definitely it will give you the troubles which I mentioned, but you have to be seen in such a way that what are the other planets. Sometimes the Saturn was in a good position and combined with the good aspecting planets, and it may have the Jupiter aspect also. You may not get this many problem with it. Okay. But don't count all the total as the number of the years. The 7.5, if you're counting the 7.5 years as the total, that is correct. But definitely, everybody was come across this only. Okay, you remember one time I asked everyone to see the moon in your Gocharam every day, and if the moon in consider you are the Kadaka Rasi and the Kumbha Rasi Saturn was there. If the Sunny was exactly from your Rasi, the Sunny was in the exactly 8th position. Now, this is when you are finding the Ashtama Sani, you are comparing your Janma Jatakam with the Gocharam. Okay, now when I ask you to find the homework, what I ask you, in the Gocharam, find the moon position, and from the 8th position, I ask you to see. Did I do that or not? No?
I think we just did the Gochara, but not with respect to moon,
No,
if I
this
remember
way.
correctly.
Then I missed it then.
No, I think you mentioned about tracking the moon, but I don't know about the 8th house.
Oh, really? I missed it then. Okay, how many of you tracking the moon every day?
I think I do.
Today, where is it?
Today I didn't check, but it is somewhere near. Today is Ashtami, so it should be somewhere in end of Vrishabha, beginning of Mithuna.
Yeah, correct. It's in the Mithuna today. Okay.
Yeah.
When that was happening, you can understand. This is the kind of a trial and error. I find it was differ from person to person. When the moon travels, and when it was exactly from the moon travels, compare against your moon position also in your Janma Jadakam, and if from your Lagna also. Take your Jadakam, Lagna and the moon position, remember that one. Then compare against the moon transit in the Gochar. Find the what are the changing in your mind. Normally, how you are behaving. When the moon was in this position, how you are behaving. There was an interesting thing when comes into the moon transit. Sometimes you feel like uh, you handle the situation very well, and you feel like you raise your collar also. But sometimes you feel like I can handle this very well. I should not say that word. I should not do that action. You may think that way also. That is the important day for you, because you have to understand where the moon is and why you did the mistake. Then you have to. This is a kind of the paranoid kind of the thing. You may sometimes feel like boring, and you may not interested to do that, but try to do it for at least 21 days. You may find some pattern in your mind. If you had a habit of doing the meditation, you can understand your mind pattern easily. But you don't, if you are not interested in the meditation, you want to do it with your hard work, then do this one 21 days or at least 48 days. You definitely track your mind system. There is a high possibility. Definitely you will find out. And come back to your question. Don't count this years, 2.5 years, 2.5 years, just for when the Ashtama Shani was going. Be careful with this kind of the area. When Ashtama Shani was going in your life, you may have that definitely here and there problem in your work. Then take your mindset. Okay, there is a problem comes in my work. Okay, you find a way to overcome it. There was the one of my teacher was saying, when you look into any of the graha, uh, sometimes you don't need to think about the Sunny for very long time. Then someone was asking, there is a problem in your chart, the Sunny going to give you the problem, then you always think about the Saturn. So when you think about the Saturn was more and more, you are consuming the Saturn energy knowingly or unknowingly. So don't get panicked whenever you are learning this kind of the thing. Take it in a good perspective. Even though I'm telling all the negatives for that, but it's when comes into a life, everything comes in the good shades and the bad shades, right? Take it in such a way. Don't count the years.
Okay, thank you so much.
Ma'am, I'm Karka Rashi and I have Ashtama Shani.
How is
But
your
my-
work?
But my Shukra Mahadasha is going on, and
Mm.
there was a period where I received a lot of accolades and rewards for my work. So I think that also takes into account when we I mean, it's not only the Ashtama Shani but also the other benefic planets that could affect.
Exactly. That one point I missed. Okay, this Ashtamasani and Kandasani will have the greater impact when the Dasha Buddhi was happening. Considered the Shani Buddhi was happening for you. Consider the Shani Dasha was happening for you. This will have a greater impact. But if you have the different Mahadasha, then whatever happening, the Shani was in the Ashtama, Kanda, the Ardha Ashtama, it won't have a greater impact in your life. Because the other planets give you the tremendous amount of the cosmic energy in your body, it will overcome everything.
My Shukra is in Mula Trikona and it is in Tula Rashi, and its Dasha Mahadasha is going on right now. So maybe. Ma'am, and I have one more question. If a malefic planet is in Dusthana, would it then become benefic, or I mean, is there some kind of a rule that says that?
Yeah, there was a rule. I didn't say, okay, then next week I will tell you that kind of the yogam also. There is a yogam will come when the malefic planet was sitting in the one more malefic planet. The combination was there. We'll have a understanding about this in the next week, definitely.
Oh, okay, ma'am.
Okay, we'll see about the Saturn in the Kadaka Rasi. Okay, now this time we'll go very fast. Okay, before you understand how you're going to read this as well. Okay, now let's see about the Saturn in the Kadaka Rasi. First, learn about the 5 elements. That is the very first important thing. From the Kala Purusha, Kadaka Rasi becomes 4th position from the Kala Purusha chart. What are the previous one? Mesha, Rishabha, Miduna, Kadaka becomes the 4th position. This is what is the element? Water is the element. Sarastira Upaya, this becomes the Stira Rasi, Chara Rasi. Okay. So when it becomes the Chara Rasi, okay, here comes my question. Who is the what is the Badhakasthana for this? This Chara Rasi.
Charan is 11th house.
For good everyone. Badhakasthana for this. This is a Chara Rasi. Anybody remember?
Movable, yeah, 11th house, right?
11th house.
Yeah.
Yes, 11th house. Anyone said that? I didn't hear this. Sorry.
Yeah,
11th
yeah.
house.
Because it is movable, so 11th house is the Padakasthana.
11th house is the Badhakasthana. That's awesome. Okay, now, when it comes to here, okay, let's learn about this later. Chararasi, Badhakasthana is the 11th house. Female is the energy. Moon house is the Kadakarasi, moon is the own house. So the ultimate female energy will be there. Okay, why I am saying ultimate female energy? When you are comparing against in the Kala Purusha chart, sun becomes the king, moon becomes the queen. Okay. So here the exalted is the Jupiter, depleted is the Mars. Okay. When the Jupiter is exalted means Jupiter's significance will be here. knowingly or unknowingly? Knowingly only. Okay, Jupiter, what are the significance of the Jupiter will come? They are very good in the wisdom. They know how to extract the things. Okay, what is
Vanita, there's some problem with the net.
okay, really? I didn't see anything.
We are able to hear.
No,
Able.
there's no issue for me actually.
Yeah,
Nothing.
same
Okay,
here.
maybe it is for me then. I'll
No.
look into it. Thank you.
Ah, yeah, sure. Okay. Now, when the exalted is the Jupiter, the significance of the Jupiter will come into play here. We now see what are the main characteristic when the Saturn was in the Kadaka Rasi. Okay, they have the great depth of the characters. So why there is a great depth of the characters? Because of the moon house. When the moon was in a good position and the Saturn was also among with it, then they have the greater depth of the characters as in the inbuilt character for them. Definitely they are found for the family, children, and the friends. Okay, money, wealth, never-ending phenomena will come. Okay, here is the last point we have to analyze very well. Competing spirit is very high, patience and the perseverance. Okay, the patient is the next name for the Saturn. The Saturn is very much good in the discipline. He is very patient in every aspect in every aspect, and he knew. But he was very when it was coming into giving anything, it may take time. Why? Because his energy was when and comes into reach to you, it takes time. That's why the people translated or lazy person, lazy energy, but it's not a lazy energy. It will comes to you slowly. But when here are my questions. Okay, here in the Kadaka Rasi, Mars is depleted. How come the competing spirit was coming? Imagine the Saturn is in the Kadaka Rasi.
Because it is a movable sign.
Yeah, yeah. It's a movable sign, and the
And
mind.
water,
Correct, exactly. The
that makes it, yeah, water makes it flexible.
water makes it flexible, and they know how to engage with everybody and moving forward in their life. Okay, this
And
is the
female also. So all these things add up.
okay. Why I ask that question, right? The Mars energy will giving you the spirit energy. For example, if you want to compete with anyone, and if you have the tremendous of the Mars energy, no one will succeed you. But here the Mars is depleted. Mars energy will be less in this particular person. But how come this person can have the competing spirit to the other person? Because the moon was in the good state. The moon house, and it has a natural tendency of the water element, and that all things come together, and it's also movable in nature. That's why this person have the spirit of the competing, even though the Mars was depleting in the Kadagaras. Okay, the weakness may give some mental distress. Why? Because this is the moon house. Anything related with the mind, they have the because this people was found for everybody. They want to they think about the welfare of each and everybody in the family. There was a saying: you may not go to every person in the world. Definitely, you will be the bird person to one or two persons. If you have the 10 persons in your life, at least 1/3 of the person don't like you. It is a nature of the life. But these people want to make them, every person in the world want to love them, and they pound with everybody. That may give this stress in their mental ability. And also in the work also, they want to do everything very much perfect, and they want to be the best in everything, because their mind was working in such a way that good, they want to be good in everything. Okay, already we did the same kind of the homework in the last week. Okay, we have to see that one Jatakam also, right? We'll see that now. So the same kind of the homework you will do it when the Saturn was in the Kadaka Rasi. Then, if I'm not wrong, Saturn is in the Kumbha Rasi now. Then for them, this is the Ashtama Shani was happening. Then if the Saturn was in the second house, if you have the Mithuna Lagna, so then becomes Makara Rasi becomes the 8th house for them. So do the same homework or how we did in the last week. Okay. Now I move on into the next one. Till now, okay? Or I'm moving very fast. I feel like we are too slow, so that little bit fast will give you different kind of knowledge.
We can
Vanita,
move.
Vanita,
Mm.
I asked you last time.
Mm.
This now you are talking about Vakra. This is Saturn in Karkataka.
We are going
Kataka.
to see that. Yeah, we are going
Huh?
to see that. We are going to see that now. You shared one Jatakam, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Give me a second. Let me open this. I stop sharing this. Okay. This one, right? January 27, 19.
So yeah, madam. Yeah.
Okay, let's see this now. Now the Kadaka Rasi in the Lagna. The Lagna was representing themselves. Now let's match with the whatever the things we read in the PowerPoint. Okay. What it was saying, you know about the person?
Yeah. He is my sister, last younger sister.
Oh, okay. And whatever that, okay, now let me stop this and again I'll show you the PowerPoint again. You tell me is this characteristics or match with your sister or not? Any one of this point.
Okay.
Anything? No?
This no. Yeah,
Mm.
fully,
Oh, fully.
full
Okay.
all. Whatever written there, no, there. That
Okay.
great depth of character, fondness. That is the same thing. Money, wealth, never ending. Yeah. Same thing. Compelling, absolutely very correct it is.
Okay.
And
Let's see how it was matching with her Jataka. That is the self of the person. Okay. Okay, now let's do it as an homework here.
Mm.
Okay, first thing. Find the yoga karaka for this chart.
Mm.
Okay, sorry, I'm going too much fast. The Lagna is the Kadaka Lagna.
Yeah.
One planet was there, retrograde Saturn. Now find the Rasi first. What is the Rasi?
Rashi is Mesh Rashi.
Mesh Rasi.
Yeah.
Now, from this point in time, find the Bhatakasthana first.
The 11th house.
11th house. Which is the 11th house?
11th house for Lagna from before Lagna Mithuna.
Mithuna.
From
It's a lot of Mithuna?
No, from Lagna or Rashi.
From
11th
Lagna.
house.
From Lagna, which is the 11th house?
Vrishabha.
Rishubha. Who's the Lord?
Shubha, Lord
Venus.
is Venus.
Venus is exalted or depleted?
Venus is the
Exalt.
moon is exhausted. Sorry.
Venus is exalted, right? Okay, now is any other planet exalted here? Except Venus. We already find out Venus is exalted. Any other planet exalted here?
Mercury.
Where?
Which one is exalted?
Mars is close to
Nothing else,
exaltation, one house away.
One, oh no. Find exact. Let's see where is the Mars degree. Mars degree is 26. Yeah, very close.
Towards Makara, right? Mars. That is why it is close to exalted.
But it wasn't. It wasn't.
It isn't,
Except
because
Venus, is there any other thing? No, right?
No.
Yes or no? I consider it as a no. So any other planet which is depleted here?
Which house, madam? Which house, Anita?
Among this Navagraha, any of the planet was depleted in this Jataka? Okay, let's go one by one. Saturn is depleted. Saturn is retrograde. Leave that.
Yeah, Saturn retrograde.
Saturn is depleted here? No. Rahu is depleted here. Rahu Ketu, leave it. Okay. Mars. Mars is depleted here.
How will come to know, madam?
No.
Mars.
I'm going to
Depleted.
try for this. Okay.
It is in the
Why I ask you? Okay, wait. wait. Why
Mars in
ask you-
Makara. It is
Wait,
Makara.
wait a second. I'm going to ask you to stay this for screen one more time. Why we stay this screen? The first
So
thing.
we have to look at Kala Purusha chart, right?
Yeah.
see,
Why
I got
ask you to
Kalapurusha.
stay?
I
Why
got Kalapurusha in front of me.
yeah, in front of me. Then tell me which one is. That's why I ask you to memorize this one all the time.
Hmm.
So when I ask you to find the exalted planet, for example, the sun is exalted in the Mars, depleted in depleted in the Tula.
Yeah,
Moon is
yeah.
exalted in the Rishabha, depleted
yeah.
in the Vrikshika.
Yeah.
Then this thing have to be in the mind. That's why I ask you to stay the screen for 30 seconds.
Okay.
So remember this one all the time.
Okay.
Now go back to the same chart.
Hmm.
Okay, now find the depleted planet here. Now the Mars is depleted here. No, right?
No.
Mercury
Jupiter
is
is very depleted. In depleted.
okay.
Jupiter is depleted.
Okay, let's go one by one. When the Mars is depleted, if the Mars was placed in which Rasi, it's considered as a depleted.
In the Makara.
Cancer.
Cancer. Kadaka Rasi, when it was
Kataka.
Mars is here, then it is considered as the depleted. I asked the exaltation point, one of you was saying that one away from that, so Mars was considered as exaltation. No. If it was Mars is the Makara, then Mars is considered as the exalted. Okay, so Mars is not depleted or exalted. Now we'll go with the Mercury. Mercury, where it will be exalted.
Very exalted in
And
Mithila.
where will be
Kanya.
depleted?
Kanya.
Kanya, depletion is happening in the Meena.
TCS.
So now we'll go to the Sun. When the Sun is exalted, where the Sun
Aries.
Mesha.
is and depleted in the Tula.
Tula.
So the Sun was also not exalted, depleted. Then we'll move on. Venus, we find out it's already exalted. Then we'll move on into the Jupiter. Jupiter, where it will be exalted?
Jupiter in Makara.
Kataka. Kataka is
Kataka
exalted.
Rasi. Okay, when I told you the one story, right? Imagine the queen favors the guru. Imagine that one. That one line, definitely you will easily remember this point. Okay, so the Jupiter is where it will be depleted? Depleted in the Makara, correct?
Makara. Yeah.
So Jupiter is not exalted, depleted. Then moves into the Moon. Moon is where it will be exalted. Vrikshika, depleted in the Vrikshika. So Moon is also not exalted, depleted. Now, among this planet, only one is exalted, that is Venus. None of the other planets was depleted. So everybody was in a good position. Saturn is only the retrograde planet. So we derived these two information. What is that? None of the planet, one planet was exalted Venus, retrograde planet, and the Rashi is the Mesha Rashi. 3 points. Then we'll further move on. Is there any Rashi was in the own house? Saturn is in the own house? No, it is in the moon's house. Now we'll move on into the Mars. Mars is in the Guru's house. Mercury is in the Guru's house. Sun is in the Sunny's house. Venus is in the Guru's house. Jupiter, Moon, and Ketu all together in the Mars house. None of them was living in their own house. Correct? This much correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Now we'll see if any of the planet exchange their house. This one you have to find and tell me.
What is that?
What is that?
Any of the planet exchange their house. For example,
Guru is in both house and Mankar is in Guru's house.
What do you mean by exchange?
Oh, okay.
Can you just explain that?
Give me a second. I will tell you. 1 second. Okay.
Yeah.
Imagine here this was the Mercury's house. Okay. Then I place the Saturn here. And I place the Mercury here. What they are doing? Mercury was in the Saturn's house. Saturn was in the Mercury's house. This is clear? I'm just giving an example.
Guru and Kuja.
So now this time I think Mars and Jupiter have exchanged.
That's awesome, right? Yeah, correct. Correct.
No.
Wait a
As per
second.
Sun, Mercury is in Mithila and Kanya, as per Kalapurusha. Mithila and Kanya. As per Kalapurusha, Mercury.
Oh, wait. Imagine the Kala Purusha chart compare only for your
Okay.
exaltation,
Now we have
depletion,
to see
own
only
house.
horoscope. chart I have to see.
Okay, wait a second, wait a second. When you are comparing the Kalapurusha chart, when is the time you have to bring the Kalapurusha chart in your mind? When you are finding the exaltation, debilitation, bone
Okay.
house,
Okay,
and
okay.
when you are comparing any of the bhavam, that is your first house, second house, third house, then whenever you are doing that point in time, you have
Okay.
to come imagine which house this one is the Kalapurusha's house.
Okay.
For
Okay.
example, if you are deriving an answer for the Kadaka Rasi, but
Hmm.
for this Jataka, the Kadaka Rasi is the Lagna. But for the
Hmm.
Kalapurusha, it's the fourth house.
Yeah, for
So that
house, yes.
moment you have to compare against each other.
Okay.
Other than that, when you are finding the Parivardhana Yogam or any other thing, you no need to go into the Kalapurusha chart.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Now here we'll find out the Mars. This is the Jupiter's house, right? This is the
Yeah.
Jupiter's house, and this is the Mars house. So what they are doing, Mars was in the Jupiter, Jupiter was in the Mars. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So there was one Parivardhana was happening here. What is that? What is that will be happening? When this exchange was happening, even though the Mars was here, it will perform the work of the Jupiter. Even though the Jupiter was here, it performed the work of the Mars. So the exchange will happen. This will become the good exchange. Why I'm saying it is a good exchange? Because the Mars was in the own house. That is the own house. It was a good place for the Mars. And the Jupiter's it's also in the own house. The exchange was happening in the own house itself. Okay.
Okay.
Now let's move on into, now we'll see about the Badaka. Okay, find the Badaka Sthana for this. This is the Chararasi, correct? Yes or no?
Yes,
Yeah.
11th house.
11th
Mesha
house
Rasi.
is the Badaka Sthana, correct?
Yeah.
This is the 11th house. I'm correct?
Yeah,
11th house is Meena.
Vishaba.
Rishubha.
For this chart, 11th house.
For this
For-
chart. For this chart. Okay, so everybody seeing the chart only, right?
Mesha Rashi,
yes.
no? Mesha Rashi. For Mesha Rashi, it is Mesha Rashi. 11th house is Meena.
From Lagna.
No. Count from Lagna. Count from Lagna.
It is Mithuna.
Okay, this is the Lagna is the one, right?
Kataka Lagna.
Kadaka Lagna. So count from here, which is the 11th house.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That is Vrishaba.
Rishubha is the 11th. Who's the owner?
Oh, what's your name? Venus.
Venus. Where is the Venus?
Venus is in Venus is in
Own house.
oh,
Meena.
Meena.
Venus is in the Guru's house, but that was exalted there. But
Correct.
he is the Bhatakas, but the Venus is the owner of the Bhatakasthana. So that means Venus is the Bhataka, but he is also exalted, and that was in the exalted position. Okay, that means how you can derive this answer?
It can. Yes,
Okay, there
right.
was no planet in it. There was for the Sara Rasi, we find out what is the 11th house. The 11th house is the Rishabha. Who is the owner? Venus is the owner. Where is the
Okay.
Venus? Then we find out the Venus is in the Meena Rasi. Who is the owner of that Meena Rasi? Jupiter. Jupiter is in the Mesha Rasi. Leave that position.
Yeah.
But Venus, what is the position of the Venus? Venus is in the exalted house. Venus was in the exalted position. So that's in the good house. But that is going to be the Bhatakasthana for this Jataka. Okay, now here is my question to you. How you can derive this one? The Bhatakasthana, Bhataka Adhipati is exalted position. He is also in a good house.
So effect will be negative or positive?
You tell me how it will be.
So negativity will be negated. That means less negative will happen.
Neutral.
It become neutral because it was in the Guru's house, but the Bhatakasthana, the obstacle will be there. But how come he overcome in her life? Because of the Guru's house, and it's also in the exalted position. Most of the time, when there was okay, I find one thing is interesting. Let's coming into the Bhatakasthana in few minutes. Before that, we will see one more thing also. Okay, what is a yoga karaka for this one?
Yogakaraka.
You find out Yogakaraka.
Mars.
Mars is in
Okay, here is the interesting point. The fifth house, and this is the 10th house, right? Yes or no?
Yes.
The fifth and the 10th house, the Yogakaraka was exchanging the position as well. And there was one more interesting thing, which I find. Okay, let's see. Now imagine this one. We didn't find an answer for the Badakasthana. We coming into the Yogakaraka. Yogakaraka, we found Mars is the Yogakaraka. You know how you find this Yogakaraka, right?
Yes, we know. Yeah.
159, 14710, right?
14759.
Mars is the one planet which is which is satisfying this condition. So this becomes the Yogakaraka for that.
Yeah.
And from here, find the aspect of the Mars only.
Mars is the 478. 478.
Affecting the Badaka, that is Shukra.
478. Mars is 478.
Okay, wait a second. What is the question for the Badaka?
It is aspecting the Badaka. That is, it's aspecting Shukra.
Exactly. Yeah, correct. One. And wait, the story not ends here.
Also Lagna.
Correct. One goes here because that is the 7th aspect, and one goes here, that is the 8th house. Okay. Now this is the one view, right? Until we found, we know that one point of the story, the Badakasthana are going to give a number of obstacles in their life, but the Badakadipati was in the good position, exalted position. But then we will see the Mars, which is aspecting the Venus. The Mars is the Yogakaraka, aspecting the Venus. Okay, now the story is not end here. He's also expecting the Lagna. The Yogakaraka aspecting the Lagna means the Jataka becomes having a possibility of acquiring a number of the lucks in their life. But there was still, I have one question there. But the Saturn was retrograde. The Saturn retrograde means definitely they have the retrograde Saturn definitely brings obstacles or struggles in their life, even though they feel like for them, everybody will feel like, oh, she is living in a very good life. But when you ask them, they won't be feel satisfied in their life. They will find one or the other way dissatisfied and discontent in their life. Okay, now the story was not in here. Let's moving into what is the aspect of the Saturn.
Saturn is 3711.
Saturn is
3710.
3710.
Yeah, 3710. Give me a second. I'm trying to change the color. I don't know how to change. Okay. 1, 2, 3. This one, right? 1, 2, 3. Correct? No?
Is
No,
it
no,
in
no, you got to
the
go the
reverse
other way.
direction? Why are you doing
Retrograde
it?
Saturn.
Because it is
From
retrograde.
Lagna, you know.
Retrograde Saturn, how it will go?
So it is in the opposite direction. Okay.
Oh.
no even though it is retrograde, it should go in clockwise only direction.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. But then, okay, let's see. Okay, stilling. Okay, let's go in the forward. Then it goes here, right? 3, 7, 8, 9, 10.
From Lagna, no? From Lagna.
From Lagna, correct?
Yeah, 1, 2, 3. 3 that is Kanya. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That is Makara. 8, 9, 10.
8, 9, 10. Right?
That is Mesha. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, now derive the answer. It won't come correctly. Because the retrograde Saturn was coming to the, as per this understanding, it's aspecting the 3rd house, that is your communication and the speech. If the retrograde Saturn was looking into your 3rd house, definitely there will be the delay in your speech as well. You may not communicate properly. If my understanding was correct, she will be definitely good in speaking. Yes or no?
Yeah. Good speaking.
Okay, then the retrograde Saturn was seeing the sun. The sun is the okay. Here is an interesting thing. Before that, I'm going with one with another. Let's go slowly. The sun, which is in this, who's the second house for this one? If this one was correct, the Saturn was aspecting the sun. Okay, wait. The second house is for the money, right?
Yeah.
Yes, Kanya.
Dhanasthana. Who's the owner? The owner is the sun.
Sun.
The sun was placed in the Makara Rasi. Retrograde, the Adipati, who's in the he's also sitting in the Lagna. He was seeing he's also aspecting his own house where this Saturn was sitting. And here is an interesting thing. The sun and the Saturn both are enemy with each other. And the Saturn was aspecting the sun, but it was a retrograde sun. The effect will be much more greater. But the sun, which is in the here, but the Yoga Karaka was in a good place. It was not affected. The Yoga Karaka was aspecting the Lagna as well. Okay, now here is the question. What do you think about her wealth? This is the position. We found out the Saturn, which is looking the 7th house where the sun was placed. Yes or no?
Yes.
And the second house owner is the sun. The sun is placed in the 7th house, aspecting by the retrograde Saturn. Okay, now tell me how the wealth will be.
Should not be good, right? Because
No, but the fact that Saturn is in Karka Rashi means that she will have a lot of wealth. So will it not counter it if it is opposite?
it's retrograde. Okay,
But it was retrograde.
But whether you go anti-clockwise or clockwise, it should go to the same house, no?
Same house only. Yeah, there was no change in the 7th house. Correct. But my question is, the second house owner is in the 7th house. Directly, the retrograde Saturn was aspecting. Now, if I have to find out how the wealth will be, because this 7th house, okay, we missed one more point. We have to find out, is this the 7th house is aspected by anybody? There comes the twist. Okay, now find out, is there anybody was looking into the 7th house? Okay, now let's see here. Okay, we still not find the answer for this question also. We'll put a comma here. Then we will move on into the Jupiter. From the Jupiter, what are the 3 views?
5, 7.
579.
Now find the 579 position. 3, 4, 5.
Jupiter is aspecting second house.
Here comes the twist, right?
Hmm.
See this one. And there was one more twist is waiting. Wait. We're not yet concluded. 5, 7, and 9. Okay, this is the 579. Dhanasthana was aspected by the Guru. Even though the retrograde Saturn was looking into the sun, both are enemy. The sun was in the enemy's house. The Dhanasthana Adipati was the Suryan. Suryan was not in a good position. It was in the enemy's house. Even though the Jupiter was aspecting, definitely the money flow will not get affected. Okay, this was one point. Then the story was ends here? No. Okay, now see the great hero Rahu. Now we'll find out the four. What are the 3 aspects for the Rahu?
Rahu
3,
is the
7, 11.
Okay, now
3,
let's
7.
look with the 3, 7, 11. 1, 2, 3. Looking into the Lagna.
Reverse,
No.
no?
Shivas, right? No?
That is Simha,
Oh,
right?
Dhanasthana.
Oh, sorry. My mistake.
Yeah. First one is 3
Yeah.
is Simha.
Sorry. Give me a second. 1, 2, 3. Sorry. Here. Then the 7. It's looking into the Jupiter, Moon, and Ketu. Then 8, 9, 10, 11. This is the very good, interesting point here. See, the Rahu was looking into the Dhanasthana. What they will do, they definitely find a way to make a big money, but at the same time, there is a possibility or a tendency to lose that money in a big way. Either one of this will definitely will happen. How is that for her?
Okay, like that presently okay.
Is any point in time she have an tendency to spend the money extravagantly or to start the
No,
business?
no, 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 no,
No? Oh,
no.
definitely there. Oh, because of the Jupiter aspect? Oh, the person can change like this? Okay, the Ketu moon and the Jupiter was together with the one all together at one house. Okay, let's go one by one for this one. Jupiter was in the friend's house or enemy's house?
Friend's house.
Moon is in the friend's house or enemy's house?
Friends.
Friend's house.
Ketu, leave it. So most of them was in the friend's house. So when everybody was in the friend's house, the Mars is also in the good position. That is also in the friend's house. The Adipati, I'm saying. The Mecha Adipati was also in the Dhanush. That means the Guru's house. He's also in the good position. When this combination was happening, even though this is my prediction, maybe I'm totally wrong. Even though they have the n number of the money, this is why I got confused also one point in time when I see the Jatagam. When the Jupiter, Moon, and the Ketu combined together, they have the tendency to think in a different philosophical way. They find again because of the Rahu aspecting the Dhanasthana, they find a way to make a money. But the Jupiter among Jupiter, Moon, and Ketu, they together, they think like um, the money is not the only thing in the life. They think in a philosophical way, and the Ketu has the tendency to most of the time they revolve around in their mind many things because of they have the tremendous wisdom. They will find an answer, but even though they have the in number of the money in their hand, they know how to make the money, but they're not going in a full-fledged way. This is maybe I'm wrong here, but because of the Jupiter Moon Ketu combination, I thought that definitely every moment there's something goes in their mind because the Ketu won't let them moon and Ketu combination never let them their mind settle down at one point. They think one or the other way. But the one good point here was the Jupiter among with that. The Jupiter was thinking gives you the different wisdom, and that's why the mind going in a different way will be settled down at one point, but definitely they will think all the time. Is that happening?
Vanita, what I'm telling, is it they're going to lose any money amount? They'll lose any amount in that way because of wrong investing?
No, the point which I said for the Ragu, because the Ragu all the time will gives you the knowledge and the energy to earn in an extravagantly, and you have he gives you an idea and make a big money. But at the same time, he will give you the taste. At the same time, he will give you the other point of the life also. He makes you lose the money.
Okay.
That's why I asked the first point. Then when I coming into the Jupiter, Moon, Ketu, the mind was not settled at one point. They definitely think one way or the other, one way or the other. The mind will be work all the time, but the Jupiter among with that gives you the wisdom. It will give you the one point in time to settled at the mind. I'm not saying the settlement in their life, the mind is settlement. They find an answer, they find the wisdom, and they settle their mind in such a way that they will mature when the age passes. They definitely think all the time. You may know, you may not know, but the Moon Ketu combination makes the person to think all the time. They think one or the other way in their mind. But when the Jupiter comes next to it, the wisdom enlighten them.
Okay. Vanita, in general, how is the horoscope family view? Okay, family life and all.
Okay, let's see about the family. Which when someone was asking the family, which one I have to see, which house we have to see.
Yeah.
7 and 5.
5, he is asking about family. 7 is the spouse.
Seventh house
Spouse
is
or your marriage life and
seventh. Like seventh
Is
house
a-
is the Kalatraya.
okay, he's
Marriage.
exactly asking about the family life, correct?
Yeah.
Which house is for the family?
Seventh.
No, it is the second
Second?
house. Second
Hmm,
house.
Second house. Here
Second
comes
is
the
for the
answer.
family.
Second
Exactly.
house.
Seventh house is what for seventh house?
Seventh is
Marriage.
relationship with partner, spouse.
Exactly.
House.
Yeah.
Why my screen got stuck? Okay, give me
No,
a second.
family means husband, family, children, how they will be in family. Family
So
life.
we have to look at the second house. That is what Vanita is going to explain now.
Okay, the seventh house is for your spouse or your opposite partner, your life partner or your business partner, anybody you treating as their partner. That becomes your seventh house. But when you are asking about the family in a general way, you have to see in the second house.
No, family in all, husband, wife, children, everybody will be happy like that, I'm asking.
Hmm.
Family
Okay,
life
let's
in
go
that.
one by one. We'll see the children later, spouse later, family later. When we'll
Okay.
put together all into one, you will
Okay,
find an
okay.
answer. Okay?
Okay.
We'll see the second house only now. Okay, which is the second house for this Jataka?
Simha.
Kanya.
Simha. Simha.
From Lagna, no?
Simha Lagna. Sorry, sir.
Oh.
Simha Rasi. Kadaka Lagna. So Simha Rasi becomes the second house. Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, now we'll see who's the owner. Sun is the owner. Sun is in the Makara Rasi, aspected by the retrograde Saturn. The Sun is also aspecting the Lagna. So already we saw that how the Sun will becomes even though this who's aspecting the Sun again?
Nobody else. Only Saturn.
Okay, the second house. Okay, the Sun was aspecting the Lagna, but the second house was aspected by the Jupiter. Okay, when the Jupiter was aspecting anything, even though they're facing a number of the problem, it will be resolved, and they will definitely find the happiness in their life.
Okay.
But here, the Jupiter was aspecting the second house. That's why definitely the family life will be good. But even then, it was in the Sun. The Sun was in the enemy's house. Who's the owner? But the Jupiter was aspecting. Same time, Rahu is also aspecting. Okay, looks good only. Okay, now you have to answer our question. I think it is in a positive way. How is her family life?
Yeah, it is good. They are giving good. Their family is good.
Now
They
we'll
have got
see.
2 kids and all. 2
Now,
kids also.
now let's see about the Putrasthana. Which is the Putrasthana?
Vrishika.
Children is fifth house.
Fifth.
Children is the
Vrishika.
fifth house, no? No?
Yeah. Children is fifth house. Yeah.
Yeah, children is the fifth house. Let's go with the fifth house. Okay, when comes into the house, we'll see the fifth house. Then you have to see the Guru also. Okay, when you are when you are thinking about the children, have an eye on the Jupiter also. Whether the Jupiter was placed in the good position, whether the Jupiter was placed in the front place or. Okay, now go with the fifth house. My God, running out of the time.
The fifth house means from Lagna or for Kalpura chart?
Always
Fifth house.
Lagna.
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 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is, it is in
It's in the
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Vrikshika.
Vrishika.
Vrikshika. Yeah, Vrikshika, Mars is the
Mars is the owner.
okay.
Mars is owner.
Is the children's or the one female or one male?
One female, one son. One male and one female, one male.
First child is the daughter.
Yeah. Second is boy.
Second is the son, right?
Son.
Okay. This is the rough case, but I will tell you why I did that. Okay, when comes into the fifth house, 5 and 10 becomes the okay. fifth, when we see the fifth house, who's the owner? Mars is the owner. Mars
Okay.
owns two houses, 5 and 10. One is the female house, one is the male house. Female house comes first, male house comes second. So that's why I asked whether it is a female is the first child,
Yeah,
second is the
correct.
male
Yeah,
child.
correct. Yeah, correct.
So definitely they will have the female and the, okay, then you may ask the one question. Definitely there is also possibility you have the somebody was having the Kadaka Rasi and they have the Mars as the 5 and the 10th house. All the peoples are going to have the female as the first child, Mars as the second child as the male. No. But
No.
for this
Okay.
Jataka, definitely the female is the first child.
Okay.
Okay, then we have to see when comes into the child, definitely the guru is also in the 10th house. Definitely there will be the good one. Okay, I'm running out of the time already. 10
Only one
minutes.
last Vanita was last one. Whether I want to. She's interested in medicine. Whether she'll go to medicine. She's first daughter. She's interested in medicine.
His
Very much
daughter?
interested in medicine. Medicine. Her daughter, first daughter, she is to want to do medicine. She's very much interested. Is any hope is there?
Best to when finding the career for any of an individual, it is best to find from that Jataka's horoscope. That is the best one. Share with me later the date of birth for her. I will try to see.
The same is the girl, her daughter, which you told, the one first daughter. Her, she wants to do. She is interested.
Correct. Yeah. When trying to find a career for any of an individual, right?
Okay.
We have to find that individual Jatakam, not
The
the
same individual. Individual. Yeah, her horoscope. Yeah. Okay, Vanita. Thank you so much. Nice of you.
If it was trying to find it from here, it may possible, but I'm not sure. I don't know how to see that.
No. Sorry. Wrong. It is what I wrong for it. Touched. Should be her horoscope.
But if you ask our guru, I forgot his name. Bala sir, definitely he will find an answer, but I'm not that much expert. I need that person's horoscope.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay. Oh my God, my plan was collapsed today. I thought to
because I spoiled my whole time. I got much of time myself. I stole your time myself.
It's okay. I think it was a learning process for us.
I
We
took you a
got
lot
to
of
know.
time.
Oh, you
I
learned.
took you a lot of time.
Oh no, never mind. Leave it. I looked discussed.
It's learning for everybody, Vanita. So it's okay.
It's a live chart and we looked at different
yet.
aspects. Yeah.
We are not there yet, actually. I think it is too early to be learning this, I think. I don't know.
Okay. Then I will change that pattern, because I thought when we have, okay, why I thought to introduce that, right? If we have the habit of seeing the chart in step-by-step manner, one point in time, our eyes look into in such a way that we'll find only one thing. Whatever we want, our eye directly going into that houses only. This is also I learned from one of my teacher. He said if you try to see the in number of the Jatakam again and again, and you will find an answer when you see the Jatakam itself, because your eyes directly coming into that house only, that Graha only, that Graha speak to you no matter what. When I hear from them, I feel that it won't happen. But when you're doing the practice, that magic will happen. I feel that wasn't a magic, but it's not a magic. It is your how many times you're practicing. The practicing will comes into picture.
But this was good because whatever we have learned so far, the layers, different layers, we saw how it was applied.
Okay,
right?
that's awesome.
We only looked at whatever we have learned so far and we saw how it should be applied. You said like, this is not there, okay, now go for this. No, that is not there, okay, go for this. I think that will help us remember the concept that we have learned and also how to apply. Thank you so much.
That's awesome then. Okay, we'll see you all next week then.
Okay, madam. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Nice of you.
Nobody will have the question, correct?
No.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
We'll see you next week.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.